Hi, this is Dr. Tracy Hoffman. I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction to FSW 294. This will be your field placement in a preschool setting. So I'm going to do a video for each of the modules. So I'm going to walk you through what's required, what's involved, and just a little bit about what's included in each module. So we're going to start with Module 0. We're going to go down here. So that's your getting started module. So in this module, you're going to have an overview. This is the introduction video, and then you're going to have a discussion board. In this discussion board, you're going to talk a little bit about where your placement is, some of the demographics of the location, the number of children, the type of program, and just a little bit about the program in general. So you're going to have that first discussion board in Module 0. And then if you look down a little bit lower, Module Resources, under that, those are some of the documents you're going to need, including what your supervisors will be using throughout the semester. So the first one is the instructor supervisor contact information. This is where you're going to find information about your supervisor that will be coming out to visit you throughout the semester. Your supervisor will also be doing checklists, assessments on your progress, and communicating with you throughout the semester to make sure you're on track, or if you or your cooperating teacher have questions. The next document you'll see underneath that is the Student Teaching Handbook. So all of these documents have been revised and updated. So in this handbook, you'll find information just about student teaching in general for your preschool setting. And then underneath that is your student teaching login sheet. So that's where you're going to keep track of your days, your hours. If there are any changes in your schedule, you'll need to document that. So you'll need to make sure you have 160 hours at the end of your student teaching. Underneath that is your cooperating teacher handbook. This handbook will be given to the cooperating teacher. And again, this is all updated information. So you and your supervisor will need to make sure your cooperating teacher has the handbook along with other documents that I'll be sharing throughout the course. The supervisor's role, that's basically just a general description of what role your supervisor will have. So student teaching is now done a little differently. So each student is assigned, I will be assigning placements, but your supervisor will be the one coming out to visit you. So this is kind of just to give you a general idea of what the supervisor's role is. Dispositions document, if you've had other Block 1 courses, which you should have had by now, this is just basically your professional ethics, just a document that you will need to sign and make sure it's on file with me. Make sure I have a copy, or you can give it to your supervisor so that I can keep that in your file. This just protects the university, protects you in case there are any issues during your student teaching. And then underneath here is the pre-kindergarten assessments, just a copy of that for you to see. Department information, library research resources, those are all general for the Canvas site. The student observation form, or I'm sorry, supervisor observation form is what your supervisor will be using when he or she is out watching you during your visits. And your supervisor will also take the time, hopefully before and after, to talk with you and your cooperating teacher about any questions or any issues you might be having. Information about scanning documents. So in this course, you will not be able to just take pictures with your phone, because when those documents are sent to me, they do not come very clear. So you'll need to scan all the documents that you do turn in for the course. Under activities in Module 0, the student teaching application, that should have already been turned in, so that helps me to place you in the appropriate site. Your non-conviction form must be signed. The top portion must be filled out and signed. These are very easy. You should have a copy of that. You can send to me. You should have them from other classes, so this is an easy form to get done. Your medical form, I do want to stress to you, if you have a medical on file, you will not be able to use that because ODJFS requires a new form. So the sites you're going to visit and student teach at have to have this medical form signed by a doctor on the new form. And again, the new form is attached. a copy of your high school diploma, which you also would need for Block 1, and then your background checks. Background checks, just a reminder, are good for 1 year. So if it's older than a year, you'll need to have both your BCI and FBI redone to go into the site. So that completes Module 0. If you have any questions throughout the semester, please don't hesitate to contact me and or your supervisor, and enjoy your semester.